Following hometown program is brought to you in living color on WBBZ-TV.
Welcome to the Daily Buzz 716. I'm Kim Piazza, and we're back live at the Erie County Fair. Woo! That's right. Now, coming up today, you know we all love to talk about pets. Well, we're going to have back our favorite veterinarian. Also, we're going to see Gina Browning from the SPCA, and she's going to share with us a very special animal therapy program. And you won't believe the barbecue we've got coming up. We can't wait to try it, ladies. All that and so much more. Stay with us. Okay, ladies, here we are, Erie County Fair. It's going to be a fun day. I can't wait. Anything animal related always gets everybody in a good mood, right?
Oh, I thought you were going to say anything barbecue related.
Oh, well, anything food related always, I know that gets me in a good mood, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But before we get into the fun stuff, Mary, you brought an article to our attention.
Well, it's an internet piece that has to do with a program that was on CBS, a news segment on CBS News yesterday about Iceland and Iceland's program for dealing with Down syndrome, which is aborted away. Iceland has so much screening, prenatal screening, that almost no one has Down syndrome children. So.
I saw the article. I know Mercedes, you read the article as well. And one of the things about the article that shook me a little bit. The title of the article said Iceland, something along the lines of Iceland is has a breakthrough.
Well, that's how CBS presented the story.
Right, like they're eradicating Down syndrome, as if they've found a cure or a way to fix.
Well, they do in Iceland.
When in fact it's not a fix or a cure.
No.
It's just an eradication.
Yeah.
Yes. And you know, I did not see the CBS report, but a Facebook friend of mine who has a 33-year-old Down syndrome daughter, she posted a picture of her lovely daughter who has a job, she lives in a group home. But she's independent. She was a twin, in fact. My friend had twins, and this one little girl, Sarah, young woman Sarah now, and she said, "Here is a person that would not exist if we were in Iceland." And it's, in fact, they in the year, one of the women that talked about it in an article, she was 40 years old when she became pregnant in 2009, and she. The test is not 100% effective. It's 85%.
80 to 85%.
And so she tested negative. So she was 40 years old. She tested negative. She had her baby, and she was in the 15%. This woman has completely turned. She's now for Down syndrome rights in Iceland. Her daughter, is now 7 years old, and it was one of 3 children in the entire country born that year with Downs.
Well, it's just, I think what's so disturbing to me, it's almost a throwback to the turn of the century. It's almost a throwback to when eugenics was a heavy-handed part in how even here in America, how our medical system handled disabilities.
Mental illness, they're just housed in basically jails.
Well, and there was a time when anyone who had anything that was deemed a disability, they were systematically sterilized. They were separated from society.
That's what the Nazis did.
And I don't think we're there. I guess it is.
We may not be, but I think Iceland might be.
But it is eugenics, and eugenics is scary.
Well, the scary part for me is they're approving these abortions after 16 weeks.
That's
most women go through all of the testing. I remember going through all of the testing, but I can't say that my mindset was, okay, if they find something, it's more of a, okay, well, let's adjust our lives and see how we can,
and there are some things that can be fixed in utero.
Yes,
and absolutely, let's find out, let's fix it if we can.
And I know ultimately women have to make their own choices, women have to make their own decisions. For me, it's the idea that as a country, they are devaluing
Absolutely.
individuals with
Individual
Down
life,
syndrome
who are
Absolutely.
different.
because they have Down syndrome. And a friend of mine who, her name is Lisa Kruger, has a beautiful daughter with Down syndrome. She's a beautiful girl with, she's intelligent, she's smart, she's happy, she's loving, she's kind, she is everything you want your children to be. She has Down syndrome, so what? You know, this one has blonde hair, this one has brown hair, this one has autism, this one has Down syndrome. That doesn't diminish the opportunity for quality of life. And this is what she sent to me, and I'd like to read a little bit of what Lisa said, if that's okay with you ladies. We live in a time where some lives are valued more than others, right? And this article, Mary, really points that out. The medical community feels the need to encourage testing and abortion instead of educating people about what Down syndrome actually involves. For herself, she feels it's not up to her to end what is her daughter's life, right? Our lives are in God's hands, and all children are a blessing. This family didn't find out that their child had Down syndrome until the day she was born, and
well, let me tell you something else. There's the other side. The woman in Iceland had a false negative. I was in my 40s, pregnant with twins.
Yep.
I got a false positive, and I was encouraged to
and make
and one of the
choices.
pregnancies,
To make
because if I
choices.
didn't choose one, well, then that could impact the other twin.
The other twin.
I mean,
can
we
you
were
imagine
lucky.
the
Both of them were born
You have
fine.
two healthy, beautiful
I do.
young men in your life.
Can you imagine the pressure that these women feel? Because close to 100% of them get it, and if it's something that is looked down upon, if it's something that is frowned upon,
Right,
when you go to
right.
your doctor's appointment, there has to be an element of pressure.
Educating a woman about what's going on with her pregnancy is completely appropriate.
Right.
You know, if you have a test and you find out that there is a disability with your child, educating a woman is a medical professional's obligation. But putting pressure on what decision to make.
Well, the thing about it is, even doing the testing is a form of pressure. The only reason we found out is there's a mandatory test in the state of California, which is where we lived at the time. It's called the triple screen. Every pregnancy, it's a blood test, it's not invasive, but every pregnant woman has to take the triple screen.
I want to share this as well that Lisa said about her daughter. She is not a burden, she's a blessing. She's the person who knits our family together and makes us better parents, sisters, and a family. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we will be back. We're gonna have a visit with Sheriff Howard, and I think Rosie had some fun at the fair.
my God.
So stay with us. Welcome to the Daily Buzz 716. Recently, our very own Judge Penny Wolfgang caught up with Sheriff Howard here at the Erie County Fair. Take a look.
Hey, welcome to Daily Buzz 716. Sheriff Howard, I know you are a regular with us, and thank you so much for talking to us here at the fair.
It's a great place. To love your studio, but it's nice to spend some time at the fair. So if people haven't done it, get out and get to the fair.
So we want to know what your responsibilities are at the fair, because you guys are all over. We're really impressed everywhere we look. We feel very secure. There is a sheriff, but it seems like your sheriff's office does a lot more than just the security here at the fair.
Well, there is a lot more. First, our security part, we share that with the Hamburg Police, which is the host police agency. We're assisting along with the state police to maintain the security of the fair. Each of us then have another additional role, and that's a public outreach. And so we're here at our building, both showcasing some of what we do throughout the year, and very importantly, focusing more at the fair than anywhere else on the Child ID program, which we'll talk more about later. But these are things that we don't just do here, but yet so many parents are here with their children. It's a great place to fingerprint the Child ID program.
Yeah, I was going to say we're going to take a look around, but there's a lot of, like you said, children that ID fingerprinting the ID, and then there's a lot of other, as you said, community involvement, car seats, and just mention a few others.
Yeah, I mean, much of our equipment is outside. The SWAT vehicles, the boats, our helicopter's not here, but the Mercy Flight brought theirs in, so we don't need more than one. Certainly one of the things. So there's something here that we know that adults are very interested in as well. Specifically, our drug drop drop box. We've got one of those here. This obviously won't be left here, but they're in numerous locations around the county to encourage people that have unnecessary, unused drugs to dispose of them properly, both environmentally and in a safe fashion by using one of these many drug drop boxes so they don't fall into someone else's hands and cause an addiction, which ultimately can lead to death.
So the fair and the sheriff's department is a really good coordination and effort to make the community aware of all these services that are available by the sheriff's office.
Perfectly said by a judge. So,
Well, of course. Sheriff, this is one of the most interesting and important operations of the Sheriff's Department that people may not be aware about, having why you would need fingerprinting and why you would need ID for a safe child. What is the point of this?
well, Operation Safe Child, actually, it's a statewide program. It's maintained, or the work is now being done by the state sheriffs across the entire state. We're very proud that in Erie County we kind of lead the state in the number of kids that are done here, and we're not just doing Erie County kids. We're doing any children that come in. The program is very simple. Parents fill out a form, all the particular information about their child. The form is entered into a computer. The child is a single fingerprint, one fingerprint, and a photograph is obtained. The family actually gets a laminated card, somewhat similar to a driver's license, but with the parent's permission, the data is stored in a computer, and if anywhere in the country they became separated from their child, so they're at Disney World and they get separated from the child and they need that data, they don't have to have the card. They simply say, I've been processed through Operation Safe Child. That data can electronically instantly be produced, sent to them in Florida or anywhere else, and help them recover their child. We've had several parents have come to us and said, like, during Halloween and trick-or-treating, I became separated from my child for just a little bit. They walked off to a different household. The kids are all in costume, and they kind of mixed and matched them. And they said the first thing that came to their mind is, oh, thank God that I participated in this program. And then luckily the child was instantly returned. They were not kidnapped, or it wasn't something else. Again, thank God, but yet it is very comforting to know that in a situation like this, the parents have done everything they could to protect their child. So you have to be 2 years of age, less than 18. On their 18th birthday, if the parent has consented to have the data stored, it's automatically electronically destroyed on their 18th birthday. If some reason a parent wanted it destroyed sooner than that, they certainly could write and have it done. So the data is actually stored by DCJS in Albany. It's not stored by us. It's shared in a central computer in Albany, but again, can be sent out instantly anywhere in the country.
But basically, it's for the safety and security of the children and the parents, for identification purposes, and it's to their benefit, and usually it has a wonderfully successful result.
Well, the kids love it, and they get their own joke and say, this is your driver's license or your bicycle license, but don't forget to wear your helmet. So, and the side benefits are the interaction between the police and the children, so they break down those barriers, and an opportunity to talk with the parents. And again, we've got a lot of other things for them to look at while they're here in the booth.
Seeing the judge with all the little kids.
Oh, I
were they in a
loved it.
tank with the frisbee?
Oh, yeah.
I
It was
loved
in the
it.
back of a Hummer or something.
Oh, it was a
wasn't
Hummer?
think.
It was
Yeah,
some
yeah.
huge vehicle that little Judge Penny Wolfgang shot it into. It's awesome. So, this whole Child ID program, how fantastic.
It is.
I love it.
And how
I love the
important.
part about that you can use it at Disney World, or if you miss, or of course, every parent's nightmare, your child being kidnapped.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
very- yeah.
it's not something you
Don't even
want
wanna say it. Don't even wanna say it.
to think about.
wanna say it.
But the fact that you're prepared,
Yeah.
that makes a big difference. It makes a big
is important.
difference.
We avoid doing things like that because the idea is so horrifying.
yeah.
But we gotta. Well, we've got another video. Our very own Rosie. Did you know Rosie is a service dog?
Rosie is
Rosie
a
is
service,
a service dog.
which is how she could have the run of the fair.
That's right. She did have the run of the fair. So WBBZ's Rosie, our famous service dog, went and checked out the Erie County Fair, and she wanted to show you the fun she had.
I have a feeling Rosie did not eat all of that.
Well, I don't think
funnel
Rosie.
cake
I don't think Rosie was sharing that fried dough with.
No, and Mary Kay really wanted the fried dough,
Yeah.
and Rosie did not get to ride the rides.
Oh,
Wasn't tall enough.
I don't know. That's not quite fair. Well, anyway, we know that Rosie enjoyed her day at the fair.
Oh, yeah.
Up next, the doctor is in. The animal doctor, that is. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Daily Buzz 716. Our next guest taught us so much about animals. The last time he was on the Daily Buzz, we had to have him back. So let's welcome Dr. Reed Stevens.
Welcome back.
And you are the owner and you are the chief veterinarian for the Ellicott Small Animal Hospital.
Correct.
Welcome,
Yes.
doctor.
Glad to be here. Glad
And more
to be here.
importantly, you're Rosie's veterinarian.
Very, my most important patient.
Do you have anything to say about that whole fried dough incident?
Oh, yeah, fried dough. Your doctor might say might not be the best thing for you, but it tastes awfully good. For your dog, it's a danger.
Okay.
We're talking about pancreatitis. We're talking about gastrointestinal disease. You don't want vomiting in your house. You don't want diarrhea in your
Okay.
house. Say no
much
more.
information,
Say no
Doc.
more. Right.
Yeah.
She didn't really eat the fried dough,
Okay,
doctor.
right,
I
I know,
promise.
yeah.
I promise. I promise. Don't try this at home, boys and girls. So you had a question for the doctor right off the bat, didn't you, Mercedes?
I did. Speaking of medicines and shots, and do you have what is it called? A shot that you can give humans that can calm them down? What is it?
People, it's actually, Mercedes, we get that question a lot. Can we give my dog a distemperment shot?
Can it work on?
Yeah.
Well, are you getting at something here, Mercedes?
Well, that's
I'm asking for a friend.
Yeah.
That's kind of a dangerous question because there is an animal medicine that always figures in Columbo episodes where people get poisoned or knocked out. What is it?
There are a number of diseases.
Ketone or something?
Well, there are a number of diseases that can go from animals to people, and people.
I'm talking about a medicine that's used in animals that sometimes the
She's
bad
going
guy
all me
steals
TV on us.
the dog.
Ketamine.
There you go,
Yeah,
ketamine,
yeah,
that was
ketamine.
it,
Is
yeah.
So there are a lot of diseases actually that
So
people
watch
share.
out, Mercedes.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of comparable medicine. Most important thing is you don't ask your doctor for advice for your pet, and you don't ask your veterinarian for advice for yourself, your family members. The worst question you ever could do at a veterinarian is say, "Can you take a look at my rash?" It's like, no, thank you. Go see your doctor.
You just mentioned something very interesting, though, that things can jump from people to their pets. That
That's right.
surprises
Yeah.
me. I didn't think that.
Yeah.
So
The number one, what people forget is veterinarians are not just about keeping your pet healthy. They're about keeping your family healthy by preventing diseases. Rabies can affect people.
Exactly.
We protect pets. Erie County spends a lot of time protecting pets from rabies because they also want to protect the family from rabies. Your veterinarian will talk about parasites like roundworms, intestinal parasites that pets can get. They can get to your family. So it's really important that pets get to their vet to talk about how to prevent those diseases. If you have a young child,
Fleas.
fleas.
We don't want fleas.
No, you don't want fleas, and fleas carry things like bubonic plague. I mean,
Don't want that.
Yeah. So we want to make sure that we're protecting. And ticks carry Lyme disease. So more and more diseases as our temperatures seem to be warming up, not just in the summertime but year-round. We are seeing more of these diseases that can affect both humans and people.
Families tend to think that fleas and ticks, you only have to treat it during the summer. Can we talk about year-round?
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
That's not true?
Mercedes, good question, great question. You know what's happening in Western New York? We all have noticed that we're not shoveling the walk as much as we used to. The snow blowers aren't running as much. The plow guys, don't have to work quite as hard as they had the last couple of winters. The last month that the temperature did not break 39 degrees, in fact, it didn't even break 32 degrees, but the last month it didn't make 39 degrees in Erie County was February of 2015. And the important thing about a 39 degrees is that's when ticks become active. So what I'm saying is that for the last, 28, 30 months, we've had 28, 30 months of 30 months of straight tick activity. So diseases that I learned about when I was in vet school, diseases I learned about that our professor said, oh, you'll never see this. This is a North Carolina disease. This is our next guest, I think, is going to talk about a little, about Southern barbecue. We used to think about how diseases only happen in the South. Now we're seeing those diseases right here in Western New York.
Since you brought that up, I'm from the South.
Yeah.
And we always treated our pets, our dogs, with heartworm medicine.
Right.
You don't do it here, do you?
We absolutely do it, and now we're recommending doing it year-round. So back to your question, yes, we're worried about parasites now year-round. So I used to recommend flea tick control just for the summer and year-round heartworm prevention. Always have recommended year-round heartworm prevention. And that's a monthly pill that you can give your pet. Right. But now I'm starting to recommend not just 6 months, but 9 months, 12 months of flea and tick.
How do our pets end up with heartworm? How does that get in their body?
Absolutely, carried by mosquitoes.
Oh, I thought
that's the warm weather thing.
Nope.
It's
Heartworm is carried by mosquitoes. Fortunately, it doesn't affect people. I have a couple of reports down in Texas where it can affect people, but for the most part,
Texas, so
but for the most part, it's not a people disease, but it goes from dog to dog. And after Katrina, and all those dogs from the New Orleans were adopted up to the South, which is a great effort and a great thing. A lot of those dogs brought heartworm. Now coyotes here in Western New York are carrying, now coyotes are the vector, which means they carry the heartworm. So a mosquito bites a coyote and then bites your dog can be infected with heartworm.
Oh my gosh, and that's such an easy thing. I mean, that's how you can avoid that.
Easy to prevent, easy to happen, easy to prevent, really expensive, sometimes impossible to treat.
Really impossible
Thousands of dollars to treat.
Because the worms are inside the animal's heart.
Exactly. And the heart I had a dog I adopted in Taiwan, of all places, when I lived there, and that dog died of heartworm because the congestive heart failure. The blood was too many worms in the heart. And plugged up.
Okay, well, that's really sad.
It is really sad. It was really sad, but it's important, and that's why I'm so glad to be here to bring those messages out to the folks.
Can you help us better understand? It's been hot the last couple of weeks. Give people some tips. When it's really hot out, some things not to do.
Okay, so everybody knows not to leave your dog or cat in the car. Right? We don't want to do that. Absolutely. So that's really important because cars heat up to 130 degrees in a matter of minutes.
Like an oven.
Like an oven, exact, solar oven. We've got to watch the pavement. Pavement gets really hot. Anytime the temperature is over, I'd say 85, 90 degrees, think about the pavement. If you're going to exercise your dog, walk your dog, get them outside early in the morning, not in the middle of the day. Make sure they have plenty of water.
How do you feel about when folks bring their pets to things like, say, I see a lot of animals at the Allentown Art Festival, the Elmwood Art Festival. What are your thoughts on that?
Some pets, I love the fact that people are getting out with their pets, and I think that's great. And more pets, we see more bicycles in Western New York. We're seeing more pets out in Western New York. I think that's great, getting your pet outside. Again, avoid the middle of the day. Avoid the very congested times. The funnel cake drops on the ground, and boom, there you go, pancreatitis, gastrointestinal disease. So you got to be very careful. And if it's a small pet and you can keep them curled up and off the pavement, fine. But if it's a big heavy set, say pit bull or any dog that has trouble breathing, like a bulldog, really bad idea.
And the other thing you're talking about, dropping something, the dog picks it up, chocolate.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Chocolate, onions, grapes, raisins. These are things that we get called.
Not just bad for you.
Not just bad for you, toxic.
Toxic.
We love chocolate, but dogs don't actually have the enzyme to take chocolate and break it down into the good things that we appreciate about it. And they actually, it causes some toxicity.
All right, so when you're preparing your food, watch what falls on the floor.
Yep.
If you've got an animal.
Well, around Halloween and times like that, too.
Oh,
sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sure.
One thing I wanted to mention was that the fair's been going for 178 years, and it's right now it's about for a lot of kids who come here, it's about Ferris wheels and funnel cakes, right? But it started in agriculture. The fair started because of agriculture, and agriculture didn't happen without veterinarians, because you couldn't have agriculture without animals, and you can't have animals without veterinarians. So we're really proud that we've been involved with the fair for all of its 178 years, and there's actually a core of volunteers, local veterinarians, and veterinarians are from across the nation who are helping these animals that are at the fair now.
Who come from away.
Come from far away to keep these animals safe. We've actually started an Explorer program where kids can learn, it's called a vet camp, where there's 20 kids here learning about veterinary medicine.
Oh, that's awesome.
How old are they?
Great.
What age do they have to be?
They're 13 to 16. It's fully enrolled now, but there's an Explorer program that Sisters with that they can do at Medaille College, where they can learn about
We find it on the internet?
Find it on the internet.
Okay.
So, Dr. Stevens, thank you so much for coming. Will you come back?
Absolutely.
I mean,
Anytime.
You teach us so much. Things
And
we need to know.
And I get to have a funnel cake.
Yeah, you get to have a funnel cake.
Not my dog.
We're going to be right back. Mary's going to take a moment and speak with Gina Browning from the SPCA, and we're going to learn about a program called Pause for Love. So stay with us.
Welcome back to the Daily Buzz 716. We're here at the Erie County Fair with our very good friend Gina Browning from the SPCA.
Hi, thanks for having us back on.
And also with Jim Kowalski.
Hello, pleasure to be here.
And most important of all, Sedona. That's Jim's service dog, Sedona. Now, I got to ask you first, are you from Arizona? Or
I'm not.
why Sedona?
Well, I can't take credit for the name, although it is a good, nice name. I got her from my cousin when she was a year old.
Okay.
And she was pre-named, so we stayed with it.
Is your cousin from Arizona?
She is not, and I'm not sure the history of the name.
Well, you know, Sedona is this very new agey kind of, crystals and...
I was unaware of that. Okay. I was unaware of that, but thank you.
Okay, so good name for Sedona. So tell us what Pause for Love is, Jim.
Pause for Love is a program through the SPCA of Erie County, and what basically it is your dog has to be a service dog. And there's many different areas and arms of Pause for Love. But basically we go into whether it be businesses, elementary schools, colleges, the airport, nursing homes, hospitals, and we just bring smiles to people. And that's the bottom line, just to bring smile, bring joy, take people's mind off of what they're going through at the moment and put it on the dog.
Tell me what the difference between a service dog, like Sedona, and a therapy dog. What's the difference?
Well, Sedona is actually both. She's a service dog and dual trained as a therapy dog. Right now she has her bandana on, which means that she's working as a therapy dog. That's why she's not behaving so well. She knows that she can be a little more sociable. The difference between the two is a therapy dog is for everybody. A service dog is trained for one person's individual needs. Hey, stop it, please.
Okay, so Sedona is your service dog.
Correct.
But she could, for instance, sometimes like when we're at Children's Hospital with my daughter, they'll come through with what I presume is a therapy dog that'll just play with the kids.
Right, and that's exactly true. And we actually just did that not that long ago. We had gone down to Ellicottville with the Hunter's Hope program. They had the kids camp, and we had gone down there and participated with that. Just to be there for the children that are afflicted and the siblings of those that are afflicted. And it was awesome. She showed me a whole new side of herself in that she would smell the children's face, their ears, their mouth, and then just lay down on the ground, roll over onto her stomach, onto her back rather, and the parents helped them, their children pet her. So it's a whole new experience that, with the Hunter's Hope program that we had participated in through Pause of Love.
Gina, how does that work? How does the SPCA work with the service dogs and the therapy dogs?
It actually started many years ago. Just some of the shelter dogs started visiting nursing homes and hospitals, and we had a wonderful coordinator take over, Debbie Braun. We changed the program to our Pause for Love program, and now they go into hospitals, assisted living facilities, but we've expanded to so much more. We do colleges, as Jim mentioned, but we've also started with funeral parlors. We've started at the Family Justice Center, helping victims of domestic violence. We're in some court systems, and it's wonderful because if you have children who have to testify, this is a very serious situation that causes anxiety, understandably so, in a lot of children, in a lot of women, and in some men. And having an animal right there in the courthouse sometimes really helps bring the anxiety level down. We visit the airport, and that helps nervous children and nervous adults who are flying.
I'm interested in what you said about funeral parlors. It's such a sad time for families. And so what was the idea of doing that, and tell me how that's working?
That's actually a program that has started in other parts of the country, and we've just started imitating that. It's not right for every family, and I want to make that, no, we understand not every family wants this. There are some people who say, well, it's not really appropriate for our family. There are other families who say, you know what, having a dog there would make a big difference to the mourning process here. We'd like to have a dog there. Yeah.
Now, tell me about the SPCA and animal shelters, and is there a program that you use that you're going to save dogs from puppy mills? How's that going?
Well, actually, there is a fantastic group in Western New York. It's called Forever Friends Dog Rescue. And I'll tell you, some of these people, some of them are employees and volunteers of the SPCA, and most of them are not. They go into these puppy mills, they go into breeding establishments, and they rescue animals out of these situations.
Now, when you say rescue, you mean they buy the dogs? Because that's what the puppy mills are doing.
Sometimes that's what it takes. Sometimes they buy the dogs. Other times they will talk to the breeders or the people who run the establishments, and they talk them into releasing some.
Kind of guilt trip them?
I guess, yeah, they convince them that it may not be the best setting, that maybe the dog isn't as valuable to them as the dog once was. And of course, the dog is infinitely valuable to us. And some of those breeders and the breeding establishments will release the animals. Others, they'll purchase the animals and get them to the SPCA.
I guess that was the question that Kim asked me to ask you. If you're purchasing the animal, aren't you extending the problem?
I see where you're going, and that is the situation that so many people find themselves in, and so many animal welfare organizations find themselves in. Let's see, and I hear it all the time from people who call us and they say, you know what, I just paid $2,000 for this dog. I know it wasn't the best situation. I know that there was irresponsible breeding going on, but when my eyes met that dog's eyes, I had to rescue that dog from the situation. So yes, in one sense, they are perpetuating the business. They're keeping that person in business by giving them thousands of dollars. At the same time, they felt that they had to rescue the dog from that situation because we're talking about living things. We're not talking about paperwork and files. We are talking about a living, breathing something that needs rescuing. Yes, very often these people know, I'm going to be paying a $4,000 vet bill now because this dog is so sick, but it's worth it to me.
Let me ask you one thing, Jim. What are the qualities in a dog or a cat? Because there are service cats, right?
Correct.
Well, what are the qualities that an animal shows? Like if somebody thought they had a friendly dog or cat that would be good at this, what are you looking for?
Well, not what she's doing right now. She's off her game right now. She's usually a more quiet, calm dog. There really is no set dog description. I mean, any dog, any breed can be a service animal. Right now she's a therapy dog. So therapy dogs, you want them to be kind, you want them to be gentle, you want to be approachable, pettable, things along that lines. In tune. You want the dog to be in tune as well.
That is so great. It was so nice to meet Sedona. I'm sorry she's off her game, but she's so friendly here. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thank you, Gina. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Sedona. We'll be right back with Daily Buzz 716.
Welcome back to the Daily Buzz 716. Our next guest travels all over the country, and he prides himself on bringing people the best barbecue you can find anywhere. Let me introduce to you Dre Bullock from Dre's Place.
That's it.
Hi, Dre.
Hi, Dre.
I'm so happy to
Hi,
see
ladies.
you. I'm so happy you're here.
I'm so happy to look at this table.
I'm not believing. You can say what you want, but I got to taste it to believe it.
Oh, you got to taste it.
Yeah.
Well, first I'd like to say, if y'all don't mind, good morning to America and good morning to all the guests here at the Erie County Fair.
Good morning, America.
Right. So
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Tell us what you're doing.
I'm pouring some awesome sauce on the brisket.
Awesome
that
sauce.
takes.
Is this secret sauce?
Yeah, this is secret sauce.
How secret is your secret sauce?
Well, it ain't so secret after.
Not good.
This is all homemade. It's all vinegar-based North Carolina style barbecue sauce.
And that's the brisket.
That's the brisket, and this is for the ribs.
Now you were mentioning earlier that you won some awards.
Yes, thank you to the Erie County Fair for 2 years in a row winning the best of the best at the fair.
Yay!
Thank you, Erie County
That's why
Fair.
you're here.
And you also mentioned North Carolina. Tell us about where you're from.
Well, I'm from North Carolina. My
you gotta
family
keep
heritage.
pouring, though.
Oh,
You gotta
okay.
keep
Oh,
pouring.
just a little bit on here, just a little thin line,
that
because
turnip
that's
greens
got
I see there?
vinegar
Is
based.
that turnip greens?
No, those are collard greens.
Collard greens.
Fresh cut every day.
Wonderful.
All right. Okay, so tell us where you're from.
I'm from Rocky Mount, North Carolina, but I grew up right here in Buffalo and Lackawanna, New York. So I am a guy that went away from home, but I come back home to share the love and the passion that I have for food with my family, friends, and fans in the Buffalo area.
And tell us what these are.
Okay, those are sweet potato French fries,
Ooh, my.
fried okra, my wife's wonderful family's tradition homemade macaroni and cheese that she's been making on the
Homemade
trailer
macaroni and cheese?
since we opened the business up.
You don't have to have mac and cheese from a box?
No mac and cheese. No, that'd be no good. We pride ourselves on cooking fresh food every day for the people. With a little bit of soul from the South.
Oh my goodness.
Tell us about the,
The beef
process.
brisket.
Yeah.
The beef brisket is cooked for 14 hours on the grill every night, every day, till morning of the day. And the baked beans are our original recipe for me, along with the ribs. That's my recipe, and the chopped barbecue, which is the #1 reason why I'm even in the barbecue at all. That's a family. It's over 100-year-old recipe.
Okay.
And they always told me, my father always said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Thank you.
So I pride myself on that barbecue. That recipe has been right there.
What do I have here?
You have filet mignon on a stick. Now, we do a beef on a stick, but it's filet mignon that we put on the stick. So we like our guests to know that, so you can stop by and order your beef or filet on the stick.
Dre, this is so good.
Is it good?
Oh my gosh, did you try the filet mignon on a stick?
Not yet.
Red meat. Yay, good
Not
for
yet.
you.
What's the process of your collard greens?
Now, the collard greens are cooked in smoky. We don't use pork. We use smoked turkey, which gives it a great flavor, and it's healthy. It's a healthy choice here at the fair.
So like you cut up the turkey and put it in?
No, we put the whole piece of turkey, smoked turkey, in the greens.
Uh-huh.
And we cook them low and slow for about 6 hours. And they're cut fresh every day, daily.
Fresh is a big thing with you.
Yeah, that's the big thing.
And you have-
see, that is the fresh. The fresh is the nutritional product that we have here at the fair.
And that's what
the
makes it
collard
good.
greens.
That's
Yeah.
What's next to the collard?
Now that's the chopped pork. That's what we're known for all over the country.
The chopped pork.
Gotta try that.
Yeah, that is the true over 100-year-old, 5-generational recipe.
And so for people who are really interested in what you're doing and like this is really good food, folks, you have a YouTube channel, right?
I do. I'm
What's
on
it
YouTube.
called?
It's Dre's Place Barbecue as the rotisserie turns around the country.
Rotisserie turns. I love it.
Yes.
So what kinds of things are you doing on your YouTube channel?
We pretty much do what's going on inside the trailer. I got Alex over there that's been with me for 3 years. He's been with me. He lives in Jacksonville, Florida. So this year he came on the road with me. He's been with me for the last 4 months. So he's working with me for the whole season this season. So I brought him up here to Buffalo to show him some love too, like everybody else. And then I got my favorite cousin Pam over there. She comes and helps me every year.
Good job.
And of course we got my beautiful wife.
Your lovely wife. With the
Yes,
mac and
that
cheese.
sticks with me with the mac and cheese. Oh yeah,
It's
yeah.
amazing. So if I watch your YouTube channel, am I going to learn to make what you make?
You can. I do a couple of illustrations. I make a banana pudding on there, which they won't let me do here, but I do a banana pudding, and I show
won't
people
let
how
you
to
do it
make
here?
it. No, that's not one of my things I can do here yet. Maybe next year they
We'll
might.
go into that.
Yeah. Well,
We'll talk to someone.
we love them. They let me pick up sweet potato fries this year, so I am grateful.
So tell us
Thank
some
you.
of the things that we can get that aren't normally served here, that are served down south.
It's the chopped barbecue, the collard greens, the
This is
homemade
super
macaroni and cheese,
Where's
and that
that?
is the pulled chopped chicken. We call it chopped chicken
That's
because we
chicken?
chop ours. That's chicken there. So that's our barbecue chopped chicken.
It's so
Is
good.
this onion rings?
That's onion rings, yes ma'am. We cook fresh onion rings.
All right. So
This is amazing.
It's
This is
amazing.
amazing.
what inspired you to start this? So originally
Well,
you're
I tell
from
you, I
Western
had
New
a
York,
dream.
right?
Well, I went to culinary school back in 1980. and I graduated in '83, but I had an opportunity to work at the Home and Anchor Bar for 2 years. And in that passion there in school, it was another 10 or 15 years, and I woke up one morning and I had a dream that what was I going to do instead of working for everybody, what could I do? And the Lord gave me a map, and I drew the map out, and it was that trailer you see down there. And I drew it out, and I gave my boss my papers, and 6 months later, I had that trailer built.
All right.
And I've been doing it ever since
That was
2007.
great.
Wow.
No, but that was brave.
Yeah.
That was brave.
So tell us about where you travel throughout the year.
Well, we travel to, we go pretty much East Coast to as far as Miami, Ohio, as low as Miami, Florida, and over as far as North Carolina, Rocky Mount, North Carolina.
And so people are looking for you. How are they going to find where
They
you're
can
going?
go on my
now?
Facebook page. They can go on my YouTube page usually and find me. But my Facebook page on my any social media can pretty much follow Dre's Place Barbecue around the country.
All right.
And we've been on Food Network. I've been on Food Network on the Carnival Eat segment. So I'm known on Food Network.
Do you cater?
I do, all over the country. Usually when I'm coming to your part of the country, I try to set up caterings if anybody would like catering.
My birthday's coming up. We need to talk.
We need to talk, only if I'm going to be a Buffalo with you.
You will. Yeah.
You got to come back. Dre, you got to come back. This is so good. This is so good.
Thank
Listen,
you.
Western New York, when you come to the fair, you've got to look for Dre. I am telling you, I mean, look at that clean the bone. It's so It's so good.
I just want to say thank you for inviting us.
Oh,
to
thank
your
you
show,
for coming.
ladies.
Thank
Listen,
you.
you ladies do an awesome job.
Anybody who brings food like this,
You're a
thank
keeper.
you. No, thank you. Thank you for coming.
All right.
We've got to take another short break. We'll be right back with a few thoughts and the winner, the lucky number. Stay with us. Welcome back with to the Daily Buzz 716 at the fair with our new best friend, Dre. Look what he brought me. Look what he brought me. Well, it's also time, ladies and gentlemen, to announce the winning number. If you visited our gazebo here at the Erie County Fair, and if you picked up a number card, take a look at your card to see if you're the winner. So, Dre, who is the lucky winner today?
1410.
All right.
Oh, it's yesterday's winner, though.
Oh, that was
from yesterday.
If you
Say today's number is 1410.
So anyone who visited,
So it's today.
Anyone who visited our gazebo, you take a look at your card and see if you have that number. And if you're 1410, you've won a $20
Free game play.
and free game play to get Dave and Buster's. Yeah, that's better than a sharp
good.
stick
You
in the
stop
eye.
by the station during regular business hours to pick up your
Right.
gift card.
It will be there for you. So thank you so much.
Thank you, ladies,
I
again
think we
for
need to
having
tell
Dre's Place
everyone where to
Barbecue.
find Dre at the fair.
Where are you at the fair?
42nd Street by the Wine Gazebo. So you guys make sure you stop by Dre's Place Barbecue and at least say hello.
So you
Wine
know,
and brisket.
Wine and brisket.
It does
wine
go
and
good
brisket.
together.
Or wine and ribs. It's all
Or
good.
wine and
Filet mignon.
Filet mignon.
Ah.
Mignon.
That's it.
I would have a red with that. I would have a nice dry red.
Oh,
with that.
absolutely.
A little hoity-toity
Very good.
for the fair, but I like it. I like it a lot.
Thanks
Well,
again for inviting me to your show, ladies.
Thanks
It's
for
been a
coming.
pleasure, and you ladies do a wonderful job here.
Thank you, Dre.
Keep up the great,
Thank
awesome
you
work
so
for
much.
the Western New York.
This is our favorite segment at the fair, you know.
Absolutely.
The food. The food. Thank you so much, Western New York, for watching. Thanks for being a part of the Daily Buzz 716. Thank you to our live studio audience. It's so great to have you all here with us today. Follow us on Facebook if you'd like to be a part of our studio audience. We're here for the remainder of the fair every weekday, and you come right into the Erie County Fair Cook's Kitchen and Shop, and you come see us in the morning. We'd love to see you. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter, and thank you, Western New York, for watching WBBZ-TV.
All right. Thank you, ladies. I love y'all.
Thank you. We're very